Yeah, so good evening all. I hope you guys can see my screen. So the very first thing is please make sure you download either uh, there are two ways to download the local one. So we are configuring it via two ways. So as I explained yesterday, if your system is not capable enough, if you are confirming or you're not sure your system won't be that much capable of running a virtual system. So means a virtual machine. In that case, like the basic requirement would be like 4 GB of RAM at least, and two vCPUs or two core CPU. So just go to your control panel and you can verify that if your what is your hardware. Okay, so in my case, the memory is like 8 gigs and CPU is 6 cores I have. Okay, so in my case, there is no issues. So in your case, if it is less than this minimum requirement, so I would urge you to use only the cloud one. So this is the minimum requirement for local VM or VMware, you can say. Okay, so first thing is let me just a second. So I hope you guys install the VMware. So if not, there is an instruction to install the VMware. So it is very straightforward. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, so VMware Workstation installation. Okay, so just go to the same. So even the link is the same, and if it is like 600 MB. One second, just change the theme. Yeah. So yeah, now you can see clearly. So um, like you just download the 600 MB of that VMware Workstation executable file. Okay, so after that, you just open it, and it is typical any Windows application you will open, right? So you just install it and click on next. And when it asks for the license, you just enter the license from here. So this is the license. And once you entered it, so this is the home page of your VMware Workstation. So yeah, so in this screenshot, I might have installed VMware Workstation 16, but I might have attached, let me verify. Yeah, 16. So it is fine, but I'm using 17. So it doesn't matter. So the requirements are the same. Yeah, Akash, so the configuration required is two vCPUs, or sorry, two cores. Okay, so why I'm mentioning it as vCPU, because you need to enable the virtualization. So uh, yeah, so many would face this one. So just go to your task manager and look for virtualization. Okay, so if this section is disabled, you can't use your VMware. Okay, so it is very straightforward. Why? Because you are visualizing or using this same CPU. So in this case, I have 6 CPU core, right? So virtually, I'm using the 6 CPU for my VMware Workstation. So if you see virtualization is disabled here, so just go to your Google and search for, let's say, HP virtualization. So my laptop is a HP. Okay, virtualization enable in BIOS. So you just search for this term. Just mention any your laptop. So what is the laptop vendor? You just mention it and just type virtualization enable in BIOS. So you just Google that. If possible, I will make a document and put it in this resource section. Okay. Why? Because that virtualization should be enabled for sure. Then only you can, it will work. Okay. So you can see here. So how to boot to the BIOS, and this is the official one. So how to enable the virtualization. So just go to your BIOS section. So yeah, This is the option you need to enable in your BIOS. Okay, so yeah, Chandra. Okay, so let me give the drive link. So I just sent the link in the chat. Please do click the drive link and bookmark it. Okay. So yeah, like first thing is please do install this VMware Workstation. And for the people who only want to use AWS or GCP, you can skip this section. Okay. So you need not download the ISO or anything. So you can right away use any one of the cloud service provider. But I would suggest only AWS and GCP. AWS and GCP. So GCP is giving $300 and AWS is giving 750 hours of free tier. Okay, so you need not pay anything for these two. So that is the thing. And yeah, so for the people who want to use in the local one, so this is the home page. So click on create new virtual machine and please do download the ISO as well. So that is very, very important. That is your operating system, by the way. Okay, so just don't select the typical one. You can click on custom because we will change the requirements. So just click on next. So you need not worry about this hardware section. So what is this hardware is? So what is the compatibility check for each version? So anyhow, in your case, this would be in VMware Workstation 16.2. Okay, so it doesn't matter. So what is this is like it is, let's say, for an example, let me select the old one. You can see there is a limitation of the hardware. So I can use only two processor and only 4 gigs of, not even 3.5 gigs of memory. So this is like a 10 or 15 years old machines. So during those times, it was very limited, right? The resources are. So now it is not. So you just select, by default, it will be selected the latest one. So you can ignore this. So I just selected custom, click on next. So click on next here as well. And you can select this one or you can, so select the ISO file here itself. So I selected the ISO file. So just go to the path where is your ISO is located and select it. So it doesn't matter. So it can be either above rel 8 it should be. So that is the key point here. So below rel, like rel 7 or less than that, it is like kind of obsolete. Okay, so even the Red Hat is not supporting those. So please use rel 8 and above. So in terms of exam as well as work environment, almost 70 to 80% of the companies like kind of migrated to rel 8. Still, some companies do prefer rel 7 for sure, but yeah, still rel 8 is kind of market standard nowadays. So please do make sure you are installing the correct version. Okay, so of course the version which I provided here is 8.4 or 8.2. It doesn't matter. So it is just a kind of a feature changes in between those two versions. So fine. So you just locate that ISO path and click on next and give the name of your user, right? So I'll just give user one. Let it be the username as well. And password is 1234 1234. So you just see this information section. Okay, so the password is for both user and even the root account. So that is very, very important message. Okay, so the same password, the 1234 password, right? So that would be the one carried forward to even the root user, right? So yeah, invalid username. Okay, so capital letter it is not allowed. Yeah, now it did allow. So just give rel and make sure if you are having more than one partition, right? Just a second. 1 second. So if you're having more than one partition, so please do use that. Okay. So in my case, I have two partitions, right? So C colon and E. So I will be using the E and create a new directory, VM or rel labs. Okay. And enter. Just click next. And this is an important section. So by default, it will select only one vCPU or one CPU core. It is okay. So that is fine. So only one is more than enough for our like our Red Hat or Rel 8. Okay, so just give next. So in this one, if it depends on your hardware. So by default, if yours is only 4 gigs, it would be selected as only 1024, which means 1 gig here. The memory would be. So 2 gigs is enough. So if you have less than 8 gigs of RAM, so you can by default it will select that. If not, you can select 1024. It doesn't matter. Okay, so since I have 8 gigs, I'll be selecting 2048, which means 2 gigs of memory. So just give next. And the network section. So this is again an important one. So we'll be seeing extensively how this one works, like what are all the adapters and all. But by as of now, you just select the NAT, or you can select used bridge networking. Okay, so either one you can select. I usually select NAT because it will same like NAT full form is network address translation, which means like the same host IP it will be using from the DHCP server. Okay, so anyhow, I'll be explaining those. So yeah, the SCSI controller. So this all you just give by default one. So you do not change any of these. And the virtual disk types. So again, virtual disk, there are so many types are there. So NVMe, non-volatile memory express. So that is the full form of NVMe. So this is the fastest as of now. Okay, so SATA, it is kind of market standard. It is also fast, but compared to NVMe, it is like 10 times slower than NVMe. And SCSI is far slower than SATA. So this is how it would be. IDE, it is kind of obsolete. So none of the systems use that. Again, whatever option you select here, still it will be virtually using your same disk, your hard disk, right? So even though you have a physically you have a SSD, that is fine, which means like then it will be running faster. So in my case, I have an NVMe SSD only, right? So in my case, it will be a bit faster compared to your system. If you are not having an NVMe, in that case, so still you can select that. So virtually only we are using, so there won't be any speed difference, right? So the disk speed, there won't be any limitation. So you just give next. And of course, we are creating a new one. So click next. And by default, it will be selecting 20 gigs. And these two options are thin provisioning, thick provisioning. So anyhow, we'll be seeing this in disk management. Okay, so just select the last one. Split virtual disk into multiple files. Click on next. And the same path, I'll be saving the disk as well. So why? Because the disk also you need to keep it in the same path just to make sure it would be like let's say like if you want to remove the disk or if you want to relocate the disk to a different VM, it will be easy for you to identify it, right? So I'll just give one to it, give next. And this is the format, VMDK. So VMDK is virtual machine disk. So that is the full form. VM disk it is. Okay, so any disk you create via VMware Workstation, it will be the extension will be VMDK. Okay, so just give next. And this is just a summarized version of what it will be provided in the settings. So these are all you selected. And you can even remove the printer. Anyhow, we won't use printer, right? So we can remove that. So what I done is I just click on this customize hardware. So anyhow, later also you can remove the printer or you can leave that. So sound card or printer. Anyhow, we won't use this. So we are using this just for a lab, right? So we won't. And I personally don't have a printer, so there is no need of printer in this. So VMX, yeah, Nanjapa. So VMX is your VM machine. So this is kind of a profile, right? So you can see .vmx. So this profile or this machine is the VM file, or that is the full form of VMX, right? So that is your profile, whichever you're creating here. You can even see that VMX in this Explorer, but I'm not sure why it is not opening my Explorer, but yeah, that is your VMX, VM machine or profile. Okay, so why I call it as profile, because you can even rename that. You can do a lot of stuff with it. Okay, so yeah, so it would start installing. So why it didn't allow us to select any section, because this is kind of a fast installation. So this is where it differs. So like this section, right? So let me again show you. If you select, I will choose later, right? So I will install the operating system later. You need to attach. So all the options you will select, but at last you need to attach the ISO once again. You go into the VM section or settings, right? So instead we attached at first. So it right away, it did boot it to that ISO, right? So you can see it is going to the auto installation.iso as of now. So this is our ISO. Okay, so yeah, so it will take some time to install. So in the meantime, I'll be showing you how to install in your AWS as well as GCP. So first we'll be seeing in AWS, as many might already use that. Okay, so this is my profile, and if anyone having any doubt creating an AWS instance, so please do drop an email to me in this mail. So anyhow, I'll be showing you how to do that. If you have any payment related issues, right? So you can reach out to me in this mail ID. So the very first thing is AWS allows credit and debit card. So either one you can use, okay? And the good part is, yeah, almost every debit card vendor it is allowing, and except RuPay, I guess. So RuPay, it doesn't work. Okay, so you can give a try. If it is working, that is well and good. And they would detect 2 rupee from your account. And yeah, just to verify your account is a valid one or not. Okay, so anyhow, they will credit it back within 2 days. And yeah, so you need not spend any even a single penny after that. Okay, so until you are terminating or stopping your VM. So if you keep the VMs keep on running, of course the cost will be incurred, right? So that is your AWS. The same thing goes for GCP as well, but GCP only credit card is allowed. Okay, so credit. And another good thing about GCP is you can use your Google account. Any Google account you can use. And another best part is you can, the same thing goes for your AWS as well. You can use your Amazon account. Okay, so you can use any number of accounts, and the best part is $300 they are giving for free. It is around 28K of in INR. It is 28K. So you can even install a like a higher configuration VM in GCP. Okay, so yeah. So AWS account, just Google this and you just follow this instruction. Okay, create and activate an account. So if you still, this is very straightforward instruction. right? So see, it will be giving you how to verify. And yeah, so one drawback with AWS is it won't be instant, right? So they would take some time to verify. So in the verification time, comparatively, GCP is a bit faster. They do verify faster compared to AWS. Okay, so this is the link to create and activate your AWS account. And once you've done that, this is your dashboard. Okay, so if you're still having any doubts, so you just follow that instruction, whichever mentioned here, and it is very straightforward. You just need to enter your billing details and everything. Your I guess you need to even give your PAN. It is even optional, but I guess it is mandatory nowadays as per the RBI rules. Okay, so yeah, so you just give your legit information, and once it is done, you just see this dashboard. Okay, so in this service, so please don't panic by seeing all this service. So anyhow, we won't use everything, right? So first thing is we'll be using the go to compute, and only this EC2 we'll be using as of now, right? So just click on EC2, or you can use this global search. So yeah, okay. So just you can even search do a search as EC2. Again, it will redirect to the same page. So yeah, so don't uncheck this new EC2 experience. So this is a easy and very straightforward layout. So previously the layout is a bit different, and now it is easy and very straightforward, and never change any of these regions as well. So anyhow, it doesn't matter. It will be very fast. Okay, so don't change to Mumbai or any region. So let it be the default. By default, every user, North Virginia, it would be selecting, right? So if you change also, it doesn't matter, but some of the region, it doesn't be bit faster, or it won't allow you to create a VPC. Actually, previously we faced an issue. So that's the reason I urge you to use only the default one. So yeah, and right away you just go here and launch instance. Click on launch instance, and give a name. So same rel lab, and keep everything as default. And you see the red hat here, right? So you in this one you have rel 8 or rel 9. So anyhow, rel 9 or 8 is almost same. Okay, so we can select the rel 9, and you can see free tier eligible. So you must see this comment everywhere. So if you don't see that, and you can see it here as well, right? So all these instructions is very, very important. So if you don't see this, then your account is like the old one, or it is not eligible for the free tier. So you need to log into a different account. So that is the thing. I was so many people like they won't mind this message. So once you see this message only, it will be eligible. Okay, so per month you can use 750 hours in this T2 micro. So T2 micro is nothing but yeah, it is not even 1 GB of memory. That is the sad part. But anyhow, it is only the CLI version, not a GUI. Okay, so in any cloud service provider, you won't be given the GUI one. Okay, so in free tier especially. So that is the thing. And T1 micro we are selecting. T2 also you can select. So yeah, 1 GB of memory. Anyhow, it doesn't make a lot difference, right? And we are anyhow using the free tier one. So yeah, and but this is the cost per hour. So if you keep the machine turned on and it is turned on for 10 days, let's say, this would be the cost incurred. It would like cross the limit, right? So that is the thing. And this key pair is very, very important. And if you already have a key pair, of course, you can select. If you are new to AWS or new to this EC2, you must create a key pair. That is the only way to log into your machine. So there are two ways of connecting to a machine, right? So one is password. So that is the local way we selected here, right? So password one, and this is the passwordless or key based authentication. So anyhow, we have a dedicated session on how the key based is working. So, but in short, let me explain you what is this key based. So the public key is the one which will be downloaded. So there is a key pair first thing. Okay, so public and private. So let's say for your understanding, just remember the public key as your padlock. Okay, so let's just assume this is your padlock, and of course only the specific key pattern only can unlock the padlock, right? So yeah, so that is your private key. So there can be millions of instance, but only these two pair can match, right? So that is the thing. That is how kind of basic overview how it works, and underlying that there is a algorithm like SHA algorithm, like secure hash. So it is a separate topic actually. So anyhow, we'll see that later. Okay, so yeah. So that is the algorithm it will be using to authenticate those two. And there are different types of key pair. So by default, this is the market standard nowadays, RSA, right? So you need to give a name for your key pair, right? So let me give lab, logic lab, logic lab. And since we will be using kitty or putty, right? So either one will be using .pem. So .pem we can use for our uh, command prompt. So from command prompt, if you want, you can use .pem. Okay, so we won't use that. So we will be using .pp. Click on create key pair. So it is downloaded. And please don't change any one of the metrics or options here. Okay, so yeah. So this is the firewall rules, by the way. So in firewall rules is called security groups in AWS. And please don't change any of the or click and give any custom. So anyhow, it does allow anything, right? So anywhere means you can connect to internet as well, right? So that is what it means. And yeah, so this is how. And you need, so maximum of 30 gigs is eligible, but still 10 gigs is more than enough, right? So you just select that, and by default it will be giving you 30 gigs of EBS, right? So elastic block storage. And it is like SSD one, it will be faster. Okay, so even while creating, you can add another volume, but yeah, so we need not do that. Later we will be doing in disk management section. Okay, so just do this one, and again, this is a summarized version what you selected. Click on launch instance. Again, I repeat, so you must see this message. Very important. So if you don't see that, create a new account, and you can attach the same credit card to the n number of accounts, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so yeah, so it is, as of now it is creating. And please never ever remove or delete this key, right? So again, if you want to provision the same key, of course you can't generate the same key, right? So you need to provision a new key. So that is bit hard when because one instance only one is created, means you can attach only one key. Of course, you can add a new key. There is another way, but the private key is the issue. So the private key must be placed inside the VM, right? So, yeah, it is a bit hard, but you have a workaround using NFS and all. But yeah, so it is started running. So just see the status. So it is, instead of installing or doing anything, you just spin the VM. That's it. So it is turned on, and copy this, or you can select and click on connect. So these are all the different ways to connect to your VM. Okay, so instance connect. So this is the username, EC2-user. Okay, so you can even mention any custom name. So we'll keep this as the default one. Session manager. So we won't use this one. So just you copy the SSH client, right? So copy the DNS, copy the DNS of that server, and just download this one from our right click and download. So any doubts till now? So it is very straightforward, but yeah, you must create at least once, and you will be easily understanding it. So it is downloaded. Let me open it. So I already have a profile created. So yeah, let me delete these two. So the saved section, right? So just give a name to it. I'll just give AWS or anything you can give. Just because your ISO, sorry, your VM name might change, or your DNS might, it won't change, by the way. If it is changing also, you need not worry about the key. Every time you need to attach the key, right? So you need not worry about the key. So that is the reason we are saving a new session out of it. So just click on this one and give a name to it. Anything you can give, and paste the DNS name here. Right away, don't open it. Okay, so still we are not yet finished. So just go to connection, and you can save, sorry, you can give the parameter as 240. So what is this is like, every 240 seconds, it will send a null packet to your VM, or this kitty session. Okay, so but it does work sometimes, it does not. So you need not worry about that, but just give this parameter. So 240 or 480, it does work. Okay, so come to your data, you can give your username here. So this is the advantage of kitty over putty. Okay, so you can store a password in that section, so you need not enter the password every time. So if you open the session, it will be right away logging in. But in our case, we are using a passwordless authentication, right? So just click this plus icon, right? So that it will have show this many options, and go to auth to authenticate the private key file. So here it is clearly mentioned as private key file for authentication. Just go to downloads and select the specific PPK file, and don't like link your PEM file with your PPK. So always use your PPK file. If you are using a PEM, so you need to convert it to a PPK file. So anyhow, I'll be showing you how to do that as well. Okay, so go to session, and yeah. So now still we didn't save the session. So now click on save, and you can click this and open. So if you see this dialog box, you are like 90% you are connected to the same server. Why? Because this is it is called as fingerprint. So which means it does see a new system connecting to your from your host, and it is a foreign system, which means like as per the system, it is a new connection, right? So it is just asking you whether we can allow or not. So just click on accept. If the public key is working fine, then you will be logged into your machine. Okay, so after logging in, right away, you can switch to, so just let me zoom a bit. So yeah, so just type sudo su-root. So anyhow, So sudo will be having a separate session on that. So su is nothing but switch user. Okay, so there is a hyphen after that, right? So without hyphen, if you mention, it will be in the current state or the current location. So let me just do that. You can see it is the home path of this EC2 user. So that is the reason you need to mention as sudo su hyphen user, that username. In our case, it is root. So anyhow, I'll be explaining this command once again. So don't worry about that. So yeah, as of now, you're logged into the EC2 instance using your ET. Okay, so this is the way. And if you are using a PEM file, so just you need to download a tool called as Puttygen. So many might already know this one. So if not, you just Google Puttygen, or I'll be providing this in the notes as well. Yeah, Puttygen PEM to PPK file. Okay, so you can convert from PEM to PPK file if you downloaded accidentally as well. So yeah, not only PEM, any private key if you have, right? So load existing private key. So just load that. Load the existing PPK only, and you can see the respective public key for that, right? So this is the public key, by the way, and you can see the key name or comment at the end of it, right? So, and the fingerprint as well. So if you want to save the public key, just save it, and yeah, or you can even import key. You just click on import key. It does allow you to import. Yeah, so I have a PEM file. So this is the PEM key. So if you downloaded a PEM key, this is a different key altogether, right? So you just save private key. You need to give this, click on yes. You can see it does save it in putty private key. Okay, so that is a full form of your PPK file. So just make sure that is the same. So I'll just save it as new.ppk. So that now I can easily access the same machine using putty instead of your command prompt. So even command prompt nowadays does allow SSH. Okay, so just give SSH means. So previously it is not as powerful, and it won't allow. Okay, so now it does allow, and you can even use the same to like authenticate via .pem file, not ppk. Okay, so and command prompt, it like your you can't save the full session, and so many, like you can right click and copy all to clipboard. If you give all the commands or everything is currently running, right, it will be saved or copied, and you can save it in a notepad, whereas that is not the option here. And the options are a bit limited in your command prompt, so I would urge you to use the pt or putty, either one. So both are same actually. Okay, so this is your AWS, how to launch in your AWS. And once you launched it and used your mission, so just go to your instance state and stop your instance. So while it is connected in your putty also, you can stop it. It doesn't matter. So this is nothing but a remote connection, it is called as. So whatever you're doing, right? Or putty is a remote connection. So which means you are accessing the machine which is located in some data center via remotely, right? So this is for Linux. And if it is a Windows, you have a built-in tool called as RDP, remote desktop. So just go to start and type mstsc. You can see this to RDP. Okay, so yeah, so this is for your Windows, and the respective ports it will be used is 22 for Linux, and for Windows it is 3389. So this is the port. Okay, so yeah, port is very important, and show you that. Yeah, you can see the port here, right? So by default it will be a 22 selected in your PT. Why? Because of course you're taking a remote session for your Linux machine, right? So that is the reason. So yeah, this is here AWS, and let me show you for GCP as well. So any doubts in like configuring this one? So please make sure you create either one, right? So your GCP or AWS. So either one you use. So once AWS is exhausted, so of course you can use this for a whole year, right? So, but every now and then you must stop it, right? So if you don't stop it, it will be exhausted right away. Means like within 2 months, it will be exhausted. The Sun 50 has, right? So that is the thing. The same thing goes for your GCP as well. So please make sure this is the link, by the way. Okay, so just go to this link. You can see get $300 credits in free credits for free usage of 20 products. So 20 products in the sense it is nothing but all these products. Okay, so almost everything you can use in free tier when it comes to GCP. And why I personally prefer GCP, because of course you can use the memory of 4 gigs. Okay, so it, yeah, of course it is not much needed, but still you can use 4 gigs of memory, and even 2 VCP also you can use. Anyhow, it will be the cost will be incurring till this $300, right? So that is more than enough for your practice. So just click on console, and in your case the console, or right away if you click that, it will prompt for the billing section. Okay, so once you done that billing, this would be your dashboard. Of course the dashboard of GCP is like bit kind of hard to grasp at the first time, because a lot of metrics would be there, or the lot of tiles would be there. Okay, so you need not worry. So just again there is a global search. So just type VM, right? So you have VM instances, or if you want to select from here, just scroll to the last, compute engine VM instance. So either way you can launch the VM instance. So just select that. But before that, you must be part of a project. So this is how the hierarchy in your GCP is. So at least there must be at one project. So by default, it will be created a project and an ID would be assigned to it. Okay, so if not, so it will be for sure created. If not, you need to select this one, this option, and click on new project and create a new project for yourself. Okay, so yeah, and click on, so this is the VM instance dashboard. So click on create instance. And another major advantage of GCP is you have cloud shell, which means, or cloud remote shell, which means it is nothing but your putty instance, but in cloud. Okay, so yeah, you need not even need to download that key or putty, and need not worry about the key either thing. So just open it, launch, and that's it. It would be launched, right? So you just give an instance name. So it will be Rel lab Okay, so you don't mind about the region, so don't select India or anything. So it doesn't matter, by the way. So it won't be, so we won't use that much the region specific thing, right? So just we need to spin up a VM. So yeah, you just select that machine configuration. You just select the general purpose, and E2 is the series, and this is what I personally use. So 2 vCPU and 4 gigs of memory. So that is more than enough. And you can see the cost incurred for this one, how much it would be costing you for each month. So this is for every month, and it is be running the whole day for 30 days. So that is the cost. This would be $25. And again, if you run this forever also, it would be deducting from that $300. So that is the reason I again prefer GCP. So even if you forget to turn off your or stop your instance, still you need not worry about the cost. Okay, so just scroll down to the boot disk. Again, the layout is bit um, complicated compared to GCP, sorry, compared to AWS. So yeah, so by default, Debian would be selected. So just click that and select Red Hat Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. And here you do have RHEL 7 as well. So just select RHEL 8 or 9. I'll be selecting RHEL 8, so it doesn't matter. Okay, but don't select RHEL 7. Okay, and pay as you go. So this is the option you must select. It is a mandatory one, by the way. So don't forget to select that. And so all this you just keep the same. 20 gigs is enough. So select, and yeah. So now for RHEL 8, how much? So RHEL 8 is a in for GCP actually you need to, it is a premium image, or that ISO is a premium one. So for that also it will be costing you some amount. So the amount is, as of now it is unknown, but it will be charging you. So again, it will be charging from your $300. So you need not worry about that. So you again you must see this message over here. So click on create. So yeah, it would take some time, and once it is created, you can log into the shell from your browser only. So you need, yeah, it is created and it is up. You can see the instance is running, and you need not even worry about this IP or anything. So just click on this SSH, or if you want to use any third party, use another SSH client, right? So you can select this and you can follow that. But like anyhow, they are giving the same tool it is actually, and it is even powerful as same as your putty. So you can see the key is transferred as of now to your VM, and yeah, you can use the shell here. Okay, so yeah, so now it will logged in to the user. Okay, so yeah, again you need to log in as sudo su hyphen root. So if you use this, you need to switch to the root user. All right, so once you've done this, then you're good for the practical. Almost everything you can do, you're done with that one. And still this, I guess this is stuck. So don't worry if your VM is stuck or something. So anyhow, we'll be taking a snapshot out of it. Okay, so you need not worry about. Let's say your VM is like while you install a software, it is stuck or so. So anyhow, we can revert it back to the same original state or previous state once you have a snapshot created. Okay, so just a sec. Yeah, so again, we need to. So this would take some time, by the way, depends on your machine. So one sec. Let's see. So any doubts till now? Anyone? I took very slow. So yeah. So just create either one, or you can create a like just add your credit card or debit card to both the GCP as well as your AWS. So yeah. Shiva Reddy, okay. Of course, you can clear the RHCSA certification after the session, Shiva. Okay, so and the credibility it has is very huge in almost every market. Okay, so yeah, easily you can crack that exam. So while it installs, so let me, yeah. So for the people who didn't paid, or if you're fine with my uh, teaching style, so you just go to here 125 and you can click on buy and like join this course. Like the demo would be till Thursday or Friday, I guess. So after that, it will be the Zoom link will be sent to only the paid candidates. Okay, so I'll be sending this one here. So I sent the link to join here in the chat. So for the people who didn't join yet, you can join. And if you're having any payment related queries, you can reach out to the WhatsApp group admins. Okay, so yeah. So this should be still installing. So anyone has any doubts till now? So tomorrow's session will be seeing it is again a theory part, but an important one, like what is the boot procedure for Linux or any system, right? So from the time you click on the power button, what happens in the background, right? So as a sysadmin, you must know. And yeah, so we'll be seeing that tomorrow session. And if time permits, we'll be going through file system. So what is a file system and what are all the different types of file system in Linux, right? So and what is shell? So those basic things will be going one by one. Of course, I'll be going in a slow pace. So yeah. Could you please help me to enable virtualization? So what is your laptop like vendor, Akash? Is it a HP, Dell, Lenovo, or Dell? Okay, so just go to Google and type Dell laptop virtualization enable in BIOS. Okay, so just follow this guide. So this would be the official guide, by the way. So I'll be giving that in the link, sorry, in the chat, as well as in our notes also. I'll be giving for different vendors actually. For Dell, this is the one. For HP, previous one, right? We saw, yeah. Because in previous batches, many had an issue with this one. So please do follow this guide. If you're still stuck, with this virtual enabling the virtualization, let me know. I will take a separate session, or like we will connect in any desk and I will be seeing if there is any issue. Okay, so yeah. So just a sec. It is almost completed. So I'll be showing you how to uh, connect to the local machine as well. So please stay with me for another 2 more minutes. It will be completed. So anyone wants to speak, you can unmute. If you have any doubts, you can raise your hand. Yeah, Shiva, every day recording would be sent. So for the first 2 days, it will be sent in your YouTube channel of Logic Labs, so you can verify. Even the yesterday's recording, it would be sent like, yeah, this is the one, yesterday's recording, right? So you can see that, and yeah, for the very first, only the first 2 days you can see, and for the upcoming sessions, you must pay for the session in order to proceed or get the recordings, right? So yeah. And all the notes, everything, whatever you're seeing in the notepad or the putty or anywhere, right? It will be sent also. So don't worry about notes or any attachment. And once you completed the course, you would be getting a course completion certificate as well within 3 days, I guess. So yeah. Sure. Who was that? Yeah, Mary. So what we done today is we just installed our machines. So we just prepped our machines to for the upcoming sessions, right? So that's it actually. So you need not install any more softwares or anything. So today what we done is we just downloaded the software. So there are two ways to uh, like do your labs, right? So since it is a practical based exam, also as a Linux admin, you must know the practical knowledge, right? So you do need to download, or you can spin up a machine in your AWS or any cloud service provider. So in order to do in the local machine, download the ISO, right? So and VMware Workstation Pro. So you need to download these two. And yeah, so this is how we installed it. So all these parameters we set while we create a new VM, we need to set all these parameters, right? So how many CPUs we need to use, how much hard disk, or what is the ISO image, how much memory, and what is the network adapter. All these parameters you need to set. And once you done that, and your ISO is a legit one, it will start booting and starting the installation, right? So yeah, so as of now, it is almost done. And this is the local one for the if your local machine is not capable enough, you need to run any one of the cloud service provider, right? So in our case, you can either select AWS or GCP. Okay, so this is how you do that. So there is even a recording. It will be sent anyhow in the like YouTube. Okay, so you just go through that. So how to launch an instance. It is very straightforward. Okay, so for either of those, you must download Kitty. So Kitty is also it is a remote connection software. Okay, so yeah, you must use this for either cloud service provider or your local machine. Okay, so as of now, your machine is booted. So once you see this screen, which means your machine is booted. Okay, so for the very first boot, it would take some time. So please, so once you see that loading icon, right? So you can press the down arrow. And if you click inside, your cursor would be not visible, and you can see at the bottom there would be an instruction here. So just press Control and Alt to come out of, like the cursor would be inside. This is called as console, by the way, your Linux console, and this is your GUI version. Okay, so we did mention the username while we set up the very first thing we done, right? So just click on not listed and type root, right? So either you can go to the user one and switch to root. So it doesn't matter, but right, I will be logging in as root user, and as I told before, the password would be the same, like the user one, 1234. Just click enter. So yeah, the first boot, it need to load all the drivers, right? So it would take some time. So you can ignore this message, okay? So anyhow, we'll be registering our session, like using the subscription later. So you can close that, close this starter guide, and click on this activities. Okay, so activities, and go to the last, this black box, right? This is nothing but your terminal. So it is directly logged in as root @ localhost. Okay, so just type if config -a. So what this command does is it will give all the network interfaces in your system. So in my case, the network interface is not populated, which means I need to select the bridge adapter. So anyhow, I'll be showing you in the next session how to, if you face this issue, right, how to resolve this, and there must be IP populating here, right? So like this, inet some IP should be there. So yeah, in some of the laptops, actually there is this network adapter issue. So anyhow, I will be showing you in next session how to fix this. Okay, so yeah, once you get that IP, you just copy that IP and paste it in your uh, kitty. Okay, so just take a new session and paste it over here, that IP. That's it. You can save that profile, and every time you can log in like this. And once you're done with this session, you just click on suspend. Don't stop. So again, it doesn't matter. Like again, to start up, it will take some time. So you can suspend. Suspend is nothing but, as of now, there is a hibernate in your Windows machines, right? So it is as same as that. Okay, so yeah, that's it for the day. So yeah, Pradeep, you can, this is more than enough. This course would be for the certification. And the certificate is RHCSA. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, that's it for the day then. Thanks all. Bye bye.